Divorce is stupid. I've really decided that. I mean, I've always been told divorce is a bad thing, and it's obvious. Divorce is pretty much always a bad thing. But now that I've experienced it, it's the pits. It sucks. It's not good for anybody. And yeah, I can see sides of it. I still think that if you're in an abusive relationship, by all means get a divorce. But it's still not happy. It never is. It wasn't meant to be this way. God made marriage to last. And I still remember the first time I found out that my friends' parents were divorced. And I remember thinking, whoa, they're divorced? They hung out together and they were cool with it. And they would sit together in church, and I had absolutely no idea they'd been divorced about as long as I'd known them. And it was a huge shock to me to find out in 8th grade that, oh, they don't live together. But they'd even kept their same last names. Like, they were, I don't know, I couldn't tell. And then I started finding other stories that weren't so happy. Like, one of my other friends, whose mom had been abused by her husband for a really long time, was finally able to get a divorce from him, and he refused to support her or my friend or his little sister, and things like that. But now, I don't know. See, it's my cousin's graduation, and my mom's side of the family is not the most close-knit bunch. We don't usually hang out. So it wasn't like I thought anything weird of the fact that my cousins and my aunt and uncle never visited us. That just never occurred to me as a problem. And now I'm starting to find out the truth of all this stuff that's been going on while I was younger that I had no idea about at the time. And now it's all coming to the head, right to the forefront, where it's causing pain for me and for everyone in my family. My mom's brother, Uncle Steve, he is the funniest guy. He's a doctor, and he's super tall and skinny. He can't gain weight to save his life. He has no fashion sense. And he just loves to play jokes all the time. And that's about all I know of him, because I've rarely been able to see him. And Auntie Jeanette, I don't know, I saw her even less than I saw Uncle Steve. He would come up on his own sometimes, but she almost never was with us. The one really strong memory I have of her is when we went to visit them one summer. I was 12, and we were going down there and doing Disneyland and SeaWorld and stuff, but one of the things that I remember from that trip that has stayed with me is being in their house, and my cousin plays the harp and stuff, and so I was by it, and yes, I shouldn't have touched it. I touched it just very gently. My hands were clean because I play instruments myself, and I know you never touch an instrument with dirty hands, but I just gently touched one of the strings, didn't even play it, and she started yelling at me, and it was just scary. That's what was stuck in my head, was scary, because we didn't have any other experiences together for me to know, oh, she's actually a nice person, and she was just telling me not to touch the harp. And so that's my memory of her, is scary. And now that I'm finding out all these other things about her, scary is actually a pretty good descriptor of her. But me, I just always thought, oh, she must have a reason for it, she's in the right. But I'm finding out all this stuff that I don't remember from when I was a kid, that my parents were saying this was why they were never comfortable with traveling down there. It was one thing for them to never come to us. That was their decision. We wouldn't go down there because she was scary. Because I love hanging out with my cousins, no matter what age they are. And all my cousins, except for 2 on my dad's side, are older than me. So it really means a lot to me when my cousins want to hang out with me. So every time they came, I just look forward to it so much. Audrey and Lauren, they're like the coolest. They're like the 2 older cousins that are like closest in age to me on my mom's side. And my dad's side, there's 2 female cousins that are also sort of close to my age. So like when we're all in college together, it's like it was supposed to be like a fun time, And and my cousin Audrey, she's older than me, but she was going to the same university I am. And we saw each other several times. She invited me over to play games, although I unfortunately couldn't because I had other obligations at the same time. But like the cousins, we get along just fine. It's just it's just their parents. I don't know. They were over at my house one Thanksgiving without Auntie Jeanette, and we were playing apples to apples, and the green card stupid came up. And I had a bunch of cards in my hand, but the one thing that just stuck out of my mind was divorce. So I put it down. Divorce is stupid. And my Uncle Steve was the one who was judging the cards, and he was reading them out, and Audrey reacted. Lauren looked at me in a way that made me be like, what? What did I do? What? And Audrey was like, what? No, you don't say that. And I was like, what? And Uncle Steve was like, no, you're right. Divorce is stupid. And I got the green card. But then that was when I realized that they'd actually been separated for 3 years without me knowing. And now they were officially filing for divorce right at this time. And I mean, I was embarrassed, of course, because I had no idea. And here I'd put out this thing that had like ignited tensions among them, and the rest of the weekend just wasn't the same. But I mean, how else was I supposed to know? I don't know. It didn't seem like something it sounded like something that always happened to my friends or to people in books or movies, not in my family. My family was a good Christian family. My family was an Adventist family. I mean, come on. There's not supposed to be divorce in my family. And here it is. There's divorce in my family now. And I don't know, now I'm starting to find out all this stuff about her, like how when my little brother and I were little, she would yell at us all the time and say that mom and dad weren't teaching us right and weren't disciplining us enough. And and just being really mean to mom, especially. I don't know how she treated dad. I think she might have been scared of him, maybe, because he's huge. But mom was always being treated badly by her, and she didn't want Uncle Steve and Audrey and Lauren to be up at our house or hanging out with mom's side of the family at all. And we didn't go down there, like I said, because mom didn't really like her because she was a crazy lady. And so that was why we'd never seen each other. And I had thought nothing of it. All my life, all I remembered was, ooh, scary, stay away. But, like, I didn't think anything of the fact that, oh, they never come and visit us. I didn't think that was because of us. I thought they were just busy. Or were doing other things, and no. They actually have a grudge against our family now. So all of this is coming to a head now because my cousin Audrey's graduating, which means all her family's going to be here. Her mom's family, next to no one from her dad's family. I mean, there's us and Grandma, because we live in town. Uncle Ray and his family aren't going to come because they live all the way on the East Coast. There's no way they're going to show up over here for their family whom they're not even really close with. But, yeah. I was like, yay! I get to see Audrey and Lauren and Uncle Steve again. And then we got the schedule. A freaking schedule! Apparently, Audrey has picked up a hatred of my side of the family from her mom as well. And so I was kind of fine with it because I was like, oh, well, she might, have a balanced amount of time, between mom's side of the family and dad's side of the family. That's fine. I'm not going to begrudge her mom's side of the family as long as she spends time with us as well. And no, I just looked at the schedule just now and discovered that she's spending about 6 hours with my side of the family over the course of 4 days. That's not right. She's only spending time with her dad because this is Father's Day weekend. And, I mean, that would be incredibly rude. But still, what do us cousins have anything to do with this? We want to hang out. We don't want to have to be caught up in all of this. We don't want to have to know that the families have to be kept absolutely separate. She's forbidden the families to interact. My mom's best friend is also on the mom's side of the family, is also on Auntie Jeanette's side of the family, and they hang out all the time because her daughter is one of my closest friends at the university too. And now we're being forbidden to hang out because they're on Auntie Jeanette's side of the family. And Auntie Jeanette's side of the family is not allowed to socialize with Uncle Steve's side of the family. And I have not experienced this kind of disappointment and pain, and just, it's not fair. It really isn't. Divorce is stupid. Why is she spreading all this horrible stuff to Audrey and Lauren so they don't even want to be with us? Why are they spending so much more time with Auntie Jeanette than they are with our side? I mean, we're not the ones holding grudges. We're not the ones saying, no, the families have to be separate. We're not the ones saying, oh, I'm going to spend way more time with this side of the family because this side of the family is better than the other side. Because it's just not right. The mom's side of the family, they're always together. And this is like their one opportunity to see us. I just don't understand. It just makes me so sad. Of all the things, even why couldn't all divorces be like my first friend's divorce, where the parents, they stay their same last names, they hang out together, they work in the same hospital for Pete's sake, and they keep it together for the sake of their children. To the point where nobody can even tell that they're divorced. And then you get to my side of the family, and it's all yelling and rehashing old hurts and separation and alienation and just everybody feels bad. This has been going on for years, and I didn't even know, and now I know, and it is the worst feeling I have felt in a long time. And it's just not fair. It's not fair. Why are they doing this? Why? See, this is the reason God made marriage to last. And this is one of the many reasons why I cannot wait for heaven. Half of me just wants to wait to get married until I get to heaven. Because it just doesn't make sense, and I don't want to risk it. I mean, I feel like I would make a good choice in a husband, but at the same time, I don't want to have to live in this world any longer than I have to. I want God to come now so that everything will be better and there won't be more divorce. There have been times now that when my parents fight, I've been afraid. I have to keep reminding myself that my parents, they're strong and they refuse to give up. And they refuse to treat each other horribly knowingly. They refuse to go without talking about their differences. And so I shouldn't worry about my family. But it's always a possibility. I now know that it doesn't matter who you are, or your religious background, or how hard you have tried to stick in the relationship. Divorce can happen. My uncle loves my aunt. He's still heartbroken. He would do anything to take her back. Although now that she's hurt him, I probably doubt that's true. But for years, he's tried and tried. And I just don't see why this had to happen. I'm just waiting, God. Someday we'll understand.